What's up, folks? Stu Myrick here, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. On the horn, but not on the horn this week. So last week I did tell you no radio show, and that is true. We are not doing a radio show this week. We will be taking the night off. We were going to be preempted anyway. You got Longhorn basketball against, as I check my notes, California Baptist taking on the Longhorns. So we would be at the best preempted, and with that game going late, just didn't make any sense. So, but with some of the things that have happened, WWE releasing more talent, which we thought they were at least done for the year. And then, of course, you had Survivor Series, which decided at least do a podcast, stream it on the YouTube and on the Twitch. So, greetings to everybody that's joining us on YouTube and Twitch. Justin will be here soon, hopefully. He said he's going to be here, as we've got NXT 2.0 on the TV. They just did a deal with Cameron Grimes and I forget, Luke something, the whole poker thing, and now they're showing Carmelo Hayes pilmanizing Dexter Loomis's wrist. So now we're talking to Persia Parodi and Indy Hartwell. So and so it's going to be those two against Caden Carter and Casey Catanzara. Okay, sure. But anyway, so hope you're having a good week. It is Thanksgiving week, and there's even signs of Christmas. I actually have my tree up. They even got the lights on it. So there's that. Just put the lights on today. So we'll keep working on it. We'll have some other stuff, work on ornaments tomorrow, a few other decorations. We'll see. Let's see what else. So yeah, Survivor Series. We'll recap that. AEW. I'm trying to think. There was anything of like substance. They've had good shows, but with next pay-per-view not until February. They're going to do their Winter is Coming event on December 15th, ironically, up in Garland at the Curtis Colwell Center. I might see if I go that. I might see if Dustin to get me in for that one. And plus we've got Impact Wrestling coming in January with Hard to Kill. Next pay-per-view, got Major League Wrestling coming in January with their big event, Blood and Thunder. So yeah, I got a little bit of big promotion pro wrestling coming up in the next several weeks in the Metroplex at least. So. And we'll have to see about going up there, maybe. Check them out, all that good stuff. And, yeah, that'll be good. I was at Hard to Kill in 2019 or 2020? It may have been 2020. Because it would have been before the pandemic started. And it was good. And Major League Wrestling, I think they're going to be at Gillies in Dallas, so that's a great venue. That's where Ring of Honor would run whenever they would come to Dallas. Great spot there. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So Justin texted, almost there, needed gas, so he should be here shortly. Anyway, so Survivor Series was what it was. Stupid golden egg. it's so funny when you're going to do these product placements. I mean, in the movie's only been out a couple weeks, I guess, on Netflix. Red Notice. So of course they do this whole thing with Cleopatra's egg. Well, so if you've seen the movie, okay, you're in on it. If you haven't seen the movie though, it was like, okay, what the hell's with the egg? You know, and they carry it over to Raw, which, all right, sure. Um, it was hard to get excited for Survivor Series because there was, while they had some battles, it was for nothing. It was just for battles. Nothing on the line, no stakes were up for grabs. It was the whole brand supremacy, the T-shirt wars, as we like to call it. So, let's see what else. Not much else really. It's been Tiffany's Epiphanies. Oh, this must be the new. She must be a soon to debut NXT. She's blonde. She's got nails. I guess we're going with the whole rich girl thing. I don't know. She's playing tennis right now. Tiffany Stratton. And yeah, it looks like they're going with a kind of the rich girl type motif. Sure. I'll be honest. NXT 2.0 has not captured my imagination. It's kind of like Survivor. It is what it is. It's I mean, I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not that over the top with it. It's. I mean, I guess part of it is the simple fact that they're trying to introduce all these new stars, and so you have. You don't. I mean, you still got Ciampa as champion. You still got Gargano around, and Dexter Lumis and Legado del Fantasma. But there's, it's all these others that are, they're not, they didn't have time on the indies. They're not. It's like what we heard. They are going after the non wrestlers. They're going after the athletes and I guess so they don't have to, if when they retrain them. So it's just, I don't know. I'm just not as impressed. And there's, it's developmental. Let me answer back to. Let me see. We don't care about that. Yes, we know. We know Sports Guys Talking Wrestling just went live on Twitch. Ha! Let's see. There's that. There's that. All right. Let's see. Trips. All right. 4, yes. Yeah, I said 4. Yes. All right. So anyway, sirens outside. So anyway, um, So anyway, what was I thinking? I don't know. Get all these distractions. All these distractions. Anyway, so yeah, I just haven't been that impressed with NXT here lately. They've got War Games slated for December 5th, I think it is. I think that's a Sunday. Let me make sure. Yes, it is. Yes, it's December 5th. Um, don't know what that's going to look like. It's I don't know. So they're not taking it. They're not calling it takeover. It's not a takeover. It's just War Games, NXT War Games. So we don't know what the teams will look like. But yeah, I don't know. It's also different. So Kat and Zara and Caden Carter get the win over Perota and Hartwell. Hartwell focused on her hand for some reason. Interesting. Now we got a video package on the Legado del Fantasma. Santos Escobar. Along with the rest of the. Oh, they're next. I guess Escobar is wrestling. Yes, next. Santos Escobar in action. Okay. Sure. So yeah. So sorry I'm vamping, waiting for Justin. Um oh yeah. Winter Olympics start February 3rd. NBC is gonna be busy because I think they got the Super Bowl too. They're gonna have the Super Bowl in the middle of the Winter Olympics. That's gonna be something. But be that as may. Hope you have your Thanksgiving plans all set. My girlfriend and I will be going to her family, enjoying the fellowship and the festivities there. I'm making mashed potatoes. So, so, damn, Justin, how long does it take you to get gas? Yeah, we're still live. Trying to think what else. You got Ring of Honor Final Battle coming up December 12th, and could be it's their last pay per view for a while. There's Justin Simmons. As he strolls in. Hi, Justin.
What's up, Stu? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty tired.
You're pretty tired, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And not of like wrestling or Raw, just in general.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I got a hypothetical for you,
Hold on, get
and for
in front of the mic. There
and
we
for
go.
any listener out there.
Okay, hypothetical.
Basically, you're trying to help me with my travel plans here. And
If we call if we call a driveway, walkway, and walkway, or what? No, I'm sorry. What?
no, it's all good. I'm trying to go home for Thanksgiving.
Okay,
So
home for Thanksgiving. Remind everybody where home is.
Donna, Texas.
Donna. So we're going to the valley.
So it's like 5 hours.
Yes.
Right.
Head into the valley.
Okay, so high traffic days, right? High traffic travel
Yes.
day,
Yes.
regardless of what you take.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, I was thinking, do I leave like at 7, 8 p.m., get there late, around midnight, 1 a.m. to avoid traffic? Or do I get up super early and try to leave here like by 7 so I can get there around noon 1 o'clock? Because I'll probably leave by 8 because how I'm always running behind. So I'm just like,
that's a good question.
but I'm thinking that day is supposed to rain. And
You're talking on Thanksgiving Day.
yeah, it's like it's
Okay.
supposed to rain, and then that's also
There is a pot. Yes.
Would you also consider that also a high traffic day because you have the stragglers like myself that are
Oh,
also
God, yeah.
trying to
Yeah. Day of Thanksgiving. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. There will be traffic.
So
There'll be lots of traffic.
yeah, so I was thinking my best bet would be to travel late night day before.
Probably wouldn't be the worst idea.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like doing it. I really wanted to wait till the morning of, but I'm
Right.
just like, I know there'll just be traffic.
Yeah. There's going to be traffic either
Regardless.
way.
Okay.
But I think if you do it night before Thanksgiving Eve, leave around 7, get down there about midnight. I think that might be the lesser of two evils there.
Makes sense.
So
Yeah, because either way, it's not pleasant.
no, it's not. So
The travel's not.
yeah. So
Talk about pro wrestling problems, right?
well, that's it. What's this Malik? What
Blade,
Blade?
I think.
I don't know who
Yeah,
that is.
it looks
Okay.
like Blade.
Sure, Malik Blade. We don't know who it is. That's that. That's part of the problem. Well, it's probably not a problem to them, but that's one of the issues with them changing up who they get for NXT. Like we could usually say, "Oh, well, he was this in the Indies, and we saw him here, there, and yonder." Well, can't do that anymore.
Well, it's totally understandable, though. They're really trying to create their own stars, so that means trying to find these dudes randomly.
Yeah, and I guess I guess I'll tip my cap to him for that. Plus, I guess in a way, it's less having to like detrain them from
Yeah.
indie stuff. It's one of those things. It's just it's the thing is, and this is I was talking about this. The deal is there's not. I mean, they're all going to be big muscular guys. So it's kind of like, okay, then tell me how you distinguish one from another.
Personality.
Well, but
Delivery.
they didn't give. I mean, this guy, they didn't even give him the televised entrance. So, I mean, I assume this was probably a squash match for Escobar.
Oh, definitely. And
But I don't know.
But that's okay because you need to have matches like this. And I was thinking about it as you said it. I'm like, yeah, I understand the reset for a few people. Like for some out there that were really digging the way that NXT was before, that's going to irritate those fans. But
Right.
But
there was because it felt like a super indie,
But now if you look at this through the lens of WWE, it's like, okay, so I
They
get
get
it.
to make their own stars. I get that.
It's like Vince was like, okay, look, we're looking for the next WWE.
He wants the next guy that can headline WrestleMania.
Yeah. And he doesn't
So-
feel that the indie guys are going to be those guys.
No.
And it's
No.
understandable. I get it. The WWE champion always has a certain look. Even Big E has a certain look.
True.
You know.
True.
So I get
Interesting.
it. Just like the way the concept. I understand a lot of people are getting cut, even though they're making record numbers. But it's like when you have investors, it's like you're always expected to profit. Can't have losses.
Well, and we'll talk about the releases here in just a bit. So, in fact, here we'll get going now. So, here we go.
This is Rockstar Spud, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling.
It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Now, with Justin Simmons, here's Stu Myrick.
It is Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Not on the horn this week. Podcast only, but that's okay. Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons with me. Hello, Justin.
Hello, Stu. Wearing my closest thing to a Dave LaGreca shirt.
Yeah, you got your busted open from the 10th anniversary party I went to in New York. Yeah, Dave was in the state.
Yeah.
Have more business with Thunder Rosa. I think they have finally become friends.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
For a while.
I hope so too, because I'm not sure Dave could last much longer.
It was good to see the couple who work together, though.
That's true. That's very true. So
Violetta being the
Violetta, big time over.
Big time heel out of all this.
Yeah, but she's big time over. But yeah, shout out to Mission Pro Wrestling, everything they did in Conroe this past weekend with Dave LaGreca and Thunder Rosa and Dave's wife Violetta. It was all sorts of fun and shenanigans. Dave getting speared into the stacks and stacks and stacks of beer cans.
That was a good visual.
That was a good visual. Hopefully the brewery had plenty of cans to fill. They didn't need those beer cans. So anyway,
it could have been like a rejected label or something. So they just had them sitting around.
Yeah, it could have been. All right, before we get to Survivor Series, we have to address the news that broke last Thursday. We thought they were done, but no. WWE releases 8 more wrestlers. John Morrison, Tegan Knox, all of Hit Row.
Mm-hmm.
So Isaiah Scott, Top Dollar, and Ashanti The Adonis. Drake Maverick, you heard their top FKA Rockstar Spud. Shane Thorne and Jackson Riker. And once again, the reason given, budget cuts. Yet, WWE had the most profitable year they've had in history. So, hey, it's gotten to where I've gotten a little numb to these releases. I mean, I hate the fact these guys lost their jobs.
Of course.
But I've gotten a little numb. And part of me is kind of like, okay, actually, it's a good thing. Y'all get your freedom now. You get, you will find somewhere to ply your craft, be it AEW, Impact, Major League Wrestling, NWA. I think they'll be okay. I think, I would be shocked if, like John Morrison. And now John Morrison is probably a little older than them. Got quite a few years on the bump card, is getting full. So, but I'm sure he would be a phenomenal talent somewhere.
Well,
whether it goes back to Impact, goes to AEW, whatever.
That's positive, Stu. But let's be honest. Let's take a look at where the business end lies. So John Morrison is a terrific hand, right?
Oh yeah,
Former world champion in multiple promotions.
I was going to say multiple promotions.
But it's kind of like he's in the same seat that Tanahashi's in right now. And it's like
bit.
He probably isn't going to be a champion of a promotion, or probably shouldn't be taking somebody's spot up there, but he should be like the guy passing other superstars along.
Yeah, one of those transitional guys. It'll be fun because now he and Taya Valkyrie can work together if they want.
But it's like,
So-
where would he best fit that role? Because that seems like the role that
man,
he would be the
that's-
best suited. Like
Well,
that
and that's what you're gonna
mid-card
see.
champion.
Yeah, that's where. I mean, it's
Like, how do you balance it out? Like
Yeah.
having a good, well-crafted veteran that's been, on the card at WrestleMania. To have him in the mid card of your new promotion when you're trying to create new stars, but he's a valuable presence to have in the locker room.
unless he, like I said, he goes back to Impact, or if he goes to Major League Wrestling or whatever.
And MLW does seem like a valid option just because
It
they
would
announced
be.
they have that open door
Well,
policy.
and Shane Strickland, he was there when he was their world champion at one time
Mhm.
before his stint in NXT. So he could end up back in MLW. He could go to AEW.
For me, Hit Row seems like a Rockers situation where they just had some heat and they let him go, but they're probably on their radar to bring him back as soon as everything seems all good. That's what I feel with that situation.
I don't know. They had just gotten called up. We had a couple of weeks. They did something with Sami Zayn, and then they did something with who was it? I forget. Jinder Mahal. And then boom, they're gone. It's weird. So we'll see. Drake
just
Maverick, Rockstar Spud. I saw something on Twitter today that he and EC3 together, so we may see him in the whole EC3 control your narrative type deal. We'll see about that. Shane Thorne, Tegan Knox. Tegan, the kicker with Tegan is all the leg injuries and everything. How much mileage she have left? Where could she fit in? Shane Thorne, I mean, I could see him in Impact. I could see him in MLW, I guess.
This is the first time I've ever looked at a roster like this when it comes to pro wrestling, but have you ever, and I'm going to explain this to you, but have you ever looked at it like this? I'm looking at like a pro football team. Who's my
Okay.
best 22? Who's going to be my
Alright.
store quarterback? Who's going to be my star on the opposite side, right? And then who's going to be those special team players?
Right.
Well,
Well,
those
and
specialty
that's-
players that are going to help my roster. And then who are those practice guys that aren't really going to be much, but they're talented? They can be anywhere else. That's how I feel
Yeah.
that they're trying to shape a roster right now.
Well, if and I think it was Fightful. I think it was Sean Rossap that put this out. In 2021, WWE has released 79 wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could start 2 new promotions
Yes.
with that talent.
But that just shows you how many people they had under
It-
contract.
yeah,
as well.
and that's the funny thing. This was let's not forget this. This is a lot of this is because WWE hoarded talent
Yes.
over the last few years.
It came from the Great Scare.
Because they didn't want them to sign with Impact and at the time Ring of Honor, Major League Wrestling, NWA. In recent times, AEW. So they were trying to keep people away and keep talent away.
Which was smart though, because they know that this
Hey.
current generation is built off of ROH past superstars.
If you can pay them, then sure.
It definitely hindered the start of AEW by having so much talent.
I don't know if we say it hindered it. They did just fine, I think.
Yeah,
But-
the revival did add.
Well, once they were released, yeah, sure. It's I think it's going to be interesting. Jackson Riker is an interesting deal because apparently if you believe the rumor and innuendo, he had some legit backstage heat over things he tweeted out.
Yeah.
Some certain political leanings he has. So I'm sure he will at the very least he'll work the indies. I don't know though where, I mean, I guess he could sign, but
considering what he tweeted, NWA doesn't seem like an awful stop as Tyrus is already on that roster. So,
right,
I get it.
Tyrus is
champion on that roster, right?
and he's contributing nightly on Fox News Channel. So, hey, I guess so. Anyway, it's like I said, I've gotten kind of numb by it just because we've talked about it over and over and over, and we wish them the best, and we hope to see them. The independent scene is starting to, I mean, it's still kind of slow, but you've got some of the bigger indies like AAW, like Game Changer Wrestling, like Defy, Beyond, some of the bigger ones. Even here in Texas, I'll go with New Texas Pro and Paye Pro, and you're seeing them trying to make a name and putting on some good cards. Inspire AD's coming back on December 12th.
Well, that they're coming back as Inspired AD.
Yeah, they're coming back as Inspire AD, and we'll talk about that in the next few weeks. But so there's work. There's work to be had. It's just a matter of being, right place, right time, whatever. So, as I said, we wish them the best of luck, and we know a few of them we will see them, come out on whether it's Dynamite or Fusion or NWA Power or Impact on Access TV or whatever. We'll see them coming out. So, it will just be a matter of who and where. So, Survivor Series was Sunday. And I talked, by the way, big thanks to Mike Sempervive from Wrestling Observer for joining me last week. We talked about this. Survivor Series is kind of in the same boat as Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
In that WWE, as flawed as it can be, at least has a semi-coherent stream of consciousness, as, going through. And it seems like it has to get stopped temporarily so they can put on Crown Jewel, and now stop temporarily so they can put on Survivor Series. Because there was practically no build to Survivor Series.
Oh, I understand.
And then it was, Raw versus SmackDown. Okay, whatever. I mean, you had, but it was a pay-per-view. I'm not going to say it was bad. I'm not going to say it was great. It was there.
It just really depends, again, on how you view it as where do you see Survivor Series in the pantheon of WWE pay-per-views, because I understand with its heritage, it should be at the very top, the original 4 big pay-per-views that kind of set the mold that everybody followed.
Right.
Until WCW brought in the monthly stuff, right? But in the years that have gone by, even the theory of a Survivor Series match, I don't even feel, even if there is a proper build, just doesn't seem that interesting because there isn't a good payoff besides like, okay, the storyline's over. Like, I don't understand how you can make a 5-man match exciting, because I mean, even back in the day, it kind of just felt like, oh, they were just paired up for the sake of being paired up for one silly storyline, and that was it.
Yeah, but at least there was something of a storyline. It may not have been great, but it was at least something else. The last 4 years, 5 years, there's been no storyline other than it's Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah, and that's an awful story.
I mean, that's like, and oh, by the way, you're doing this like a month after or 4 weeks after you've had this draft.
Yeah, so
it's
going,
like
how can you have affinity? It would be nice if they had like a bonus stipulation or a championship stipulation, something.
Give something to if there's a sole survivor, give them something, title shot or whatever.
Well, the one thing I can say about that is that the sole survivor is supposed to represent a huge push for that talent.
Supposed to.
Yeah.
Now, whether they do or not,
but
that's future.
I don't have
future
the
will tell.
computer in front of me, but I was going to ask you: can you recall the last time there was a sole survivor that that didn't really get a decent push afterward.
I'll be honest. I haven't. I can't even remember what happened last year's. So
Well, yeah, 'cause
I
it's not
barely
really
remember
that
what happened
great.
Sunday. Sunday you had, what was it? Seth Rollins was the sole survivor in the men's match representing Team Raw. Bianca Belair was sole survivor representing Team Raw in the women's match.
Like, I feel that's important for her. Like, it's like, hey, she's already battling at the top, but that's just like another, insurance that, hey, she can be the next champion come WrestleMania.
Well, she's been a champion. That's the thing. She's already been a champion, and it shouldn't have been taken off of her, at least in the fashion it was, by Becky Lynch. And oh, by the way, for the love of God, WWE, please, can we abandon this whole Becky Lynch heel thing? She was getting cheered hard on Survivor Series against Charlotte.
I know.
And then the next night on Raw. I mean, it's like, look, I give Becky credit for trying to make it happen, but it's not happening. Let her be a face. You got too many heels as it is anyway, which Vince McMahon, all he cares about is getting heat. So, the crowd wants her to be a baby face. Just let her be a baby face. Just do it. Ironically, that was probably the one match that was of interest and had little to do with nothing other than just the stuff that allegedly, if you believe the rumor and innuendo, the fact they don't like each other anymore. They don't trust each other. They had the blow up backstage after the title swap and this and that.
And isn't that when pro wrestling's the most interesting?
Not necessarily.
But
Look at what Vince Russo tried to do. He did too much.
But
he brought the backstage stuff way too much into.
But this is legit, and it's like this always.
But
works.
that's what I'm saying. Vince Russo would do that a lot, and almost too much.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you admittedly, like, let's not lie. I mean, besides the championship picture on SmackDown and Raw kind of gaining some steam, there really isn't a whole lot going on. But this feud between these two, I mean, this is money. And
the problem is there's they're not going to wrestle again because they're on different brands.
I know for now.
So, well, at least until next year's draft, if they do a
we
draft.
Assume,
so you got a year. So and if I'm WWE, I'm keeping them on separate brands. You're not going to put them on the same brand because never mind the hatred. You got two superstars. You need to spread the wealth.
Yeah.
Don't put them both on SmackDown. Don't put them both on Raw.
No, they definitely have like the top star power.
So,
and then it's Sasha Banks like right there, and then whenever Bayley returns, you still have some really good performers in the women's division,
which should be soon. You would think. I don't know. I forget how long she's been out, but I don't know. Raw won the night outside of the pre-show match and the main event.
Yes.
Roman Reigns went over
like, I can't say
again.
anything else.
Which,
but I understand he is the most dominant. I mean, he beat Brock Lesnar.
They book him as the most dominant.
He's the new face of the WWE. He should have the John Cena booking.
I don't know. I guess and maybe it's just my fandom of Big E. By the way, Big E, God bless him. The Seinfeld tights.
Oh,
that was fantastic. And then last night on Raw, he had the Happy Festivus with the pole on the front of his tights.
That's what his
that
tights
was
were.
Awesome.
Okay, now that
for
makes
that
way more
alone,
sense.
Big E should be champion for life. That was fantastic. Oh my God, yes.
He did lead out Sean Porter during the Crawford.
Yeah, he
Porter
did.
fight.
Yeah. He was in Vegas the night before.
So I'm like, man, he's getting a lot of work as kind of like an MC. So I
Why
mean,
not?
I mean, and he gets, those are worldwide audiences
Hey.
beyond WWE's reach. So I'm just like,
Hey.
hey, I wouldn't be surprised that
He's been on Game Day. He's been on Big Noon Kickoff on Fox for his Iowa Hawkeyes.
So I mean,
Hey,
5
he's-
years, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in like a movie or something.
The rest of the card, like I said, it was what it was. The dual brand battle royal, that was just to get Omos over. So
Did it? Did it get him over?
I don't know.
I mean, he's a plotting big guy, but he's a really big guy that makes those big dudes look like regular size guys.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But-
I'm just
Is he better than the
I
Great
mean-
Khali right now? Let's not make this difficult, right?
Khali actually had a couple more moves than Omos.
That's all you had to say. That answers your
That's
question.
the thing. That's the problem with this. I mean, they're booking him to, be the heel giant that never loses and never whatever.
Because he was talking trash during that match. A lot of trash.
And
That's the most animated I've ever seen him.
but that's, I don't know. I'm just not, like I said, I'm not blown away by him, but hey.
Like he's gone from strong silent type to like, hey, he actually is kind of to understand like how big he really is.
I suppose.
Natural progression of character.
We'll see. All in all, it was, like I said, it was a pay-per-view. It went. I think I heard Brian Alvarez say something to the effect of they had something like almost like 40% of the pay-per-view was entrances and video packages.
Oh, there was like a 13-minute entrance. I think that was the men's Survivor Series.
Yeah, the
match.
men's Survivor, that was, oh my God, that was painful. It was so long.
Yeah, I honestly did not watch this live.
I mean,
I went back and watched it and like sped through it as quickly as possible.
it was just, it was like, okay, let's.
But I knew what I was getting.
Oh, I knew too, but there's that little part in you that hopes for something different.
Okay,
I don't know. It was just.
let me ask you this:
What?
The big thing that everybody was upset about and making fun of them being the WWE on social media was there was no Rock.
Right, because it was the 25th anniversary of when The Rock debuted, and they were showing all these video packages. I never saw anything that said The Rock was coming.
I don't
Or
remember them pushing
appearing
them.
or whatever. But I guess you had fans just assume that because they were doing all these packages that, he would show up or at the very least do a video package, and he didn't even do that.
Was the pay-per-view about him like the match, the 25-man battle royal? Wasn't that in honor of his 25th year?
It was 25 men because of the 25th anniversary, yeah.
But it didn't necessarily mean that he had to be there. I didn't
No.
feel like it had to mean that he had to be there.
I don't either. I mean, but then again, I wasn't really,
Because I was like, where did this pick up steam from? I was like, where did they say this? I mean, I'm all
I don't
for
think anybody did, and I think Andrew Zarian from Mad Men Podcast, he even said, look, there was a plan in place to bring Brock in, but with all the
You mean-
scheduling and everything, with the new movie Red Notice on Netflix and all that good stuff, and promotions on that, it just became evident that he couldn't make an appearance. So.
Yeah, like COVID's still a thing. It's not like he can just travel overseas and come back and vice versa. So
Speaking of Red Notice, they also wanted you to worry about an egg. That Cleopatra's egg, which if you've seen the movie, you're in on it. If you haven't seen the movie, like I hadn't before Survivor Series, I had no idea what they were doing.
what egg?
Oh, you probably didn't even see Raw. Did you see Raw last night?
No, I mean I understand, but like what movie is the egg referring to? Rock's movie?
The one from Rock, the Red Notice on Netflix. Dwayne Johnson,
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot.
So that's what it was about.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yes.
That
It was product. It was, Netflix paying WWE for the product placement. Kind of like with Pizza Hut.
I was gonna say
Pizza Hut with a battle royal.
if anything, it was like, it was the Pizza Hut Survivor Series last night. So much Pizza Hut.
So much pizza.
Like, how much did they pay for all those spots to have it? Like, I've seen,
Yeah.
They've said Domino's a lot before in the past. They've had commercials. I don't think I've ever seen the Noid, but I don't recall ever having like the actual pizza in the arena.
Yeah, then they were like flinging it into the crowd,
and like force feeding it to each other.
Otis started eating it. And he almost went back into his old Otis mode. I was like, "Dude, come on, go back, stop being the human thumb." So anyway, yeah, the whole golden egg thing. It turned out, and it was Austin Theory had taken it so he could take a selfie with it, and Vince says, "I like your whatever." So I'm going to give you a title match. And it's like, okay, whatever. It's like, come on.
Do you like having Austin Theory having, I can't remember his name right now, Tyler Breeze's old gimmick, essentially? Or at least half of it with the selfies?
It's different. It's not half of it. It's just him taking selfies. But whereas Tyler Breeze was trying to be the fashion plate kind of thing. So
yeah, but his whole thing, like in NXT, that really got over was the selfie stick.
Yeah, but
that entrance.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I feel like
silly.
it's basically like an offshoot of that similar.
It is a little bit, I think. So I don't know. All in all, it was kind of like Sunday night Survivor Series and Raw last night. That's about 7-8 hours. I wish I could get back. It was not.
The Owens match was good.
Which Owens match?
Kevin Owens.
Who do you wrestle?
He finished him with the stunner.
Who? Finish who?
I'm trying to remember. It was last night. Who did he wrestle last night? Because I was like, oh, that was
Owens
decent.
didn't have a match last night, I don't think. Did he?
Yeah, he did.
I don't remember. Well, there you go.
I can't remember
guess
who
it didn't
it
matter.
was, but it was like that was probably
Yeah.
the best match of the night, honestly.
Yeah. A couple other things. Oh, one other thing. Kenny Omega, we know he's about to take some time off, have surgeries, so he has vacated. He is finally back to Kenny no belts. He has vacated the AAA Mega Championship, which he was going to defend, I think, this weekend.
Yeah.
Against El Hill de Viking. And so they're trying to, I think they announced Samurai del Sol, the former Kalisto, will be vying for it.
It's a tournament.
Yeah. So, so Kenny Omega no longer with any titles around his waist, and he'll take some time off. They alluded to it on BTE, with him drinking the Monster. And then right before they go, hey, that's how Adam Cole died. We're going to take time out. When we come back, we'll hear from MLW star EJ Nduka talk about the big event coming to Dallas in January. That's coming up next on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. That's actually not coming up next because the interview is going to happen tomorrow.
Oh,
So
I was going to ask you, who is that?
He was in NXT for a bit, and then he joined MLW back in June.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And this is like, what was his performance name? Was it this?
I'll have to look. Ezra Judge, I think.
Okay.
I think that was him. But he is back to being EJ Nduka, and I know they had him in the War Chamber match, maybe in this past weekend in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena.
The former ECW.
Yeah. The War Chamber match, their version of War Games, except it's one ring, one cage. So, yeah. So, there we go. Yeah, Survivor Series. Yeah.
I know what you really want to talk about, Stu.
What's that?
The USFL is back.
Go Houston Gamblers.
Hey, I could use a job. USFL, hire me.
There you go.
I was like, right, they're going to be around for a couple of seasons, max. So,
All right, let's do segment 3. Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. It's good to hear that back. We hopefully Shane will. I don't know if he'll come out with his own music or if he'll use that again when he hits the Indies, but
I'm pretty sure
that was some of the best. That was some of the best stuff about the about Wrestle Circus. Him coming out with that music, that entrance. To this day, I still won't forget. It was what was it? Him, Desmond Xavier, and because we see the MSK on the TV.
right now on TV.
It was him, Desmond Xavier, and Leo Rush against Sami Callihan and the Chris brothers. And so Shane and Dez and Leo came out to that.
Yeah.
Dancing. Sammy pokes his head out the curtain and says, "Hey, Al." Only one team undefeated. Right? You got a bunch of them at 3-1, including Tanahashi and Toru Yano, Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai Chi, Grills of Destiny, Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens, Goto and Yoshihashi, Great Okan and Hinare. You got two of them that have one win, 3 losses. Evil and Yujiro Takahashi, and then Kojima and Tenzan. Go Legends. There you go.
Yeah.
And then 3 teams have not won a match yet, including Homna and Makabe, Yuji Nagata, Tiger Mask, and Minoru Suzuki and Taka Michinoku from Suzuki-gun. So their next action will be Sunday. I guess it'll be Sunday morning here, Sunday night over in Japan. So Wyndham Rotunda, the man formerly known as Bray Wyatt. He's first post-WWE booking. He will be at WrestleCon in Dallas during WrestleMania weekend. That announcement was made earlier today. So get your tickets now.
I was going to say, any news
Let
on
him in.
how much it would cost to see him, anything like that?
Oh, Lord, I don't even want to think about how much he'll be charging for autographs, pictures, whatever.
His line.
Yeah. I mean, the WrestleCon, the tickets themselves are usually like, I don't know, $40 for the weekend or something like that.
Okay. I've never been to any of these things, primarily because I don't collect items.
I'll go for no other reason, just to say hi to folks, you know.
Yeah.
Had a great time. What was it? I guess last one I was at was in well, I guess it was New York. And Kerry Silken was there, so he and I got to hang out quite a bit, and Shane Douglas came over, said hi, and several others. It was great, you know. So
yeah, I mean, considering there probably is no more Hall of Fame, you know, that part is gonna. I do miss that.
it was, but
like
I mean,
those things I liked, but it's just all like, oh, for the people.
But it was neat just to talk to, and I'd go in, try to see maybe I get an interview or two, you know, which sometimes, you know, and, you know, sometimes you can't, but sometimes you did. And sometimes it was kind of cool, you know, talk to, that was the first time I met Tully Blanchard.
I was going to
you
say,
know?
did you run to the Honky Tonk Man?
I saw I saw
was
Honky
gonna
Tonk
say,
Man,
imagine you had to.
Bushwhacker Luke. They were at a booth. Who else? The first time I saw Bobby Cruz. Matt Stryker. Oh, Lord. I've seen so many people at these things. Dan Severn.
Oh, yeah?
Talked to Dan Severn for a bit. He was really cool. Had all of his belts.
That's cool.
NWA belt, UFC belt, everything. So, anyway, yeah, check that out. WrestleCon 2022 in Dallas. You get to see Let Him In. You mentioned in the first thing, Major League Wrestling has announced a new open door policy. And they've kind of had an open door policy for a while, but I guess they said to, I don't know, reinstate it or whatever. The press release Reads, recognizing an unprecedented free agency market, MLW will open its doors to all who think they have what it takes to be Major League and take on MLW's greatest grapplers and champions. While the majority of MLW's roster features contracted competitors, a percentage of each card will now feature free agents, ensuring exciting and unpredictable matches. Quote, why allow your career to be at the mercy of the whims of a billionaire, said MLW matchmaker Cesar Duran. I've always welcomed the hottest free agents to my arena. An open-door policy gives MLW fans exciting dream matches against MLW's best. So, there you go. By the way, they're promoting MLW Blood and Thunder on Saturday night, January 21st at Gillies in Dallas.
Yeah.
Great spot. That's where Ring of Honor worked quite a bit.
noticed that they've been-
Impact Wrestling ran pay-per-view there as well.
I was going to say they became like the wrestling venue all of a sudden.
It was, yeah, and it's a really good wrestling venue. Hoping to get a hold of, hoping to get to talk to Ross and Marshall Von Erich. They had something they released, I guess it was yesterday. They are going to challenge for the World Tag Team titles, and it will be the first time in nearly 40 years that the Von Erich family will challenge for a world championship in Dallas. Last time, Kerry Von Erich, Ric Flair in the Cotton Bowl.
Damn, 40 years ago.
May 6, 1984.
It's really
Parade
been
of
that long?
Champions.
Jeez.
Kerry beat Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. It was supposed to be David. In fact, that was the David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions. It was supposed to be David. David died, so they said they put Kerry in it instead. So,
Oh, yes, man. We all know, bro, heaven needed a champion.
yes.
Well,
Yes.
I heard that song was a hit, like in the Dallas Metroplex area from my from my older friends that grew
It
up
was,
there.
yeah.
They were like, "Oh, that was huge." They were like, "You have no idea that was how big it was at that time."
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah,
I
absolutely.
wasn't around, but they filled me in. and
Oh,
they
it
were
was, yeah. Well, it was, yeah. You had the at David's funeral, they had to put up closed circuit TV outside the church.
like, yeah.
So many people had shown up. So, anyway, Ring of Honor, they've got Final Battle coming up on December 12th. Could be their last pay-per-view for a while.
Well, as you know it, this is going to be the last pay-per-view as Ring of Honor as you know it.
As you know it, correct. Made a couple of match announcements. Josh Woods will defend the Pure Championship against Brian Johnson. OGK, the OG Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, they just won the tag team titles. They will defend them against the Briscoes. I mean, if you're gonna have a tag team battle at the what could be the final battle,
Mm-hmm.
what better way to go out than Mark and Jay versus the OG Kingdom?
I was going to say, I already assumed that the Briscoes are probably going to win, but, they're probably trying to revamp Ring of Honor if they do come back. And, it's kind of like NXT. Once they hit the reset button, they got rid of a lot of familiar faces.
By the way, the Briscoes apparently were backstage at AEW a couple weeks ago.
I heard. And, I mean, obviously they have friends in the industry and
Of course.
such, too. But,
Been around for so long.
Again, it's an interesting prospect, but it comes back to the first segment and the questions that we had, or that we kind of discussed with Johnny Morrison or Johnny Mundo. Or, he could be Johnny Dynamite soon.
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
Right.
But it's kind of like the same issue. It's like, oh wow, that's a great tag team, obviously star-studded tag team. And they would have a lot of fun matches lined up, but it's how close do you put them to the title picture? Do you put them to the title picture? Do you do do you give them the Hardy Boy run where
Yeah.
you bring them in and you go on the nostalgia thing?
Yeah, give them the run for nostalgia's sake. Sure. I mean, I guess we'll see. Anyway, that'll be coming up December 12th, and hopefully we'll have a couple of Ring of Honor stars to talk to before then. That'll do it for this week. Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter and Twitch at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch most Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central. You can also catch us Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central on the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns and your radio home in Austin for the Dallas Cowboys. We are the Horn, 104.9 and 101.9 FM and AM 1260. You can also catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the On Air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate and review us while you're there. For Justin, I'm Stu. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. Have a wonderful, safe, happy, healthy Thanksgiving. We will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go. As we have the grizzled young veterans in the ring. Briggs and Jensen. That's their name.
I was like, I don't know. Who
Sounds like a tractor company. They look like they just came off a tractor. So, yeah. I think that's probably what they were going for.
I'm like, I think that's what they're going for is modern day, like.
Yeehaw.
Well, I was gonna say like modern day country fella, like somebody that you would see in your hometown.
Yeah, riding the tractor.
I was gonna say that looks pretty accurate to me, don't you?
Head
think?
down to the sawmill for the nightly dance. I don't know.
I mean, you can't deny the fact that they got some big hoss-looking fellas that they've been trying to work in. That's for sure, and they've been
that's the
committed
thing.
to it.
That's the thing. They've been trying to work all these guys in, and it's just I don't know. I guess it's just hard to get into them. But
well, not all of them are supposed to succeed. I mean, that's the
No.
thing. Like they're really
No.
just taking this and seeing who's going to stick and who isn't, hoping that they can get them ready for a main roster spot and push them to be the next superstar. It's kind of like NXT 2.0 is kind of like a perfect melding of what Triple H wanted plus the game show atmosphere that they wanted without it being an actual game show.
well, actually, no, it's not what Triple H wanted because Triple H wanted to be a third brand,
That's true.
and they've done away with that. This
Yeah.
is no longer a third brand.
No, this is developmental once again.
Yeah.
But in that way, it works for me, though, because it's just like, they're really just trying to find a new star. I get it.
Yeah. I suppose. By the way, on Full Gear, was it Full Gear? During the Inner Circle in America's Top Team, and they had Ethan Page go out to the ring, outside the ring, and talk trash to Baron Von Raschke.
Oh, yeah.
And the Baron gave him the claw.
Yeah, I did see that.
And
That's
that is all the people need to know.
That's right. That's right. Because I saw it with you.
That was fantastic.
I mean, the main event was really good in Full Gear. It's a really good main event.
Yeah, it was really good.
And that's because he's been dealing with like vertigo for like 2 years or something like that. I don't know how he's been
Talking about Kenny?
Yeah.
Vertigo's shoulders were shot.
Yeah, but the vertigo alone. It's just like, how do
Doing
you
all.
live
I
with
mean,
that?
yeah, he had all sorts of. So, but yeah, so yeah, and that is all the people need to know. The funny thing is, Baron Von Raschke doesn't look much older now than he did 40 years ago in AWA.
Which is crazy.
Good Lord.
I mean, even 20 years ago.
He looked old. He looked old then.
Yeah, that's just it. He looks the same age. He's just one of those guys that is always going to look old, I suppose.
Meanwhile, we got
Kind of like Arn Anderson.
LA Knight and somebody fighting in the back. Okay, well, there you go. All right, well, we are going to, as I set my tea down, we're going to sign off. Thanks so much for joining us on Twitch and YouTube. Back on the radio next week. But again, as I said, have a great, wonderful, healthy, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with the family and the food and everything. And we will see you next week.